The U.S. government shutdown is looming. This could cause a huge market impact. And of course, we are seeing Bitcoin on the move as well. Breaking it all down for you guys today. My name is Paul Barrett. Welcome back into Tech Path. I want to thank our sponsor, and that is iTrust Capital. This is a place where you guys can go to set up your own crypto IRA. And there's some other things you can do over there, and they're pretty cool. If you guys have never done any kind of custody accounts, you can also get into that. It's a brand new service that they've offered. Go over to iTrust Capital, learn a little bit more about what they're doing. They're doing a great job on a lot of things, including gold and silver, which we're going to be talking about a little bit today as well. Use our link down below. It's going to give you a $100 funding reward to get started. Did you know, one last thing, that you can still do an IRA before April 15th and it still counts? So think about that for long-term planning. And of course, you want to always consult your CPA for that. All right, check out a couple of things here. I'm going to go into a little bit of trading today. And of course, coming in with me is Mr. Mariano, coming in from the Trading Parrot. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you, Paul?
Nice to see you, man. We listen, the markets are doing some crazy things right now, okay? We've got gold, the $20 trillion gold call on the move. Hours ago, one of the biggest calls of 2024 officially came to fruition, and that was gold's prices hit a record $3,000 an ounce. If you look at this right now, this is only in 13 months, too. It's now a $7 trillion market cap. Tell me, answer that question right there on that tweet. How did we get here? How did gold get to $3,000 in such a short period of time, Mariano? And what is your call on gold right now?
We had a breakdown. That was in November. And at that point, we were saying, oh, watch out with gold because there's going to be some sort of correction in here. And we had this red candle there, and I was calling for lower prices. So I was pointing in the wrong direction. But luckily for us, we spot this symmetrical triangle in here, and we waited patiently there to see if actually we were going to break out from the downside of the triangle. And actually, we had this candle there that happened on the 6th of January. At that point, we were about to complete a double bottom formation on the RSI. We were right here, still not at the neckline, halfway through, and we said, guys, let's invalidate the thesis and let's look for upside on gold. At that point, it was priced at 2.6, and we said, let's wait for the neckline, and if we break out, we're gonna get to RSI 77. Here, I left my call at 77, and gold went all the way to that target. And after that, I say we can have a second leg up. And you're not gonna believe me how high is that target. That target, if we fulfill it, if we get lucky to get there, that is priced at 3.5K, which is just mind-blowing.
Wow. I like the move because this is something that, of course, also coincides with the dollar. If you look at the Dixie right now, you can see it continues, even though it has started to bottom out a little bit, but we saw that right here also back in mid-Feb. Keep an eye on that dollar. Let's jump over to Bitcoin real quick and talk about that, because the price, many people thought, hey, the price is stuck. All of a sudden, Mariano, we get a movement on it. Now, many people are saying, hey, flight to safety. They're worried about government shutdown. Maybe we see a little rally here prior to tonight, this being Friday. The government shutdown could get turned around anytime now. But do we see a rally into tonight and then a dump? What is your anticipation on Bitcoin?
The fundamentals that I'm currently seeing is just a single word: cash. Cash coming in from different fronts. I see the Federal Reserve balance sheet now putting higher highs for the first time after a double bottom in the direction that we've been hoping since October. Since October, we are looking at this double bottom. Then the M2. Finally, a higher high after a bottom information. What are we seeing today on Bitcoin? And it's fantastic. I was saying we need to cross the 84K. People think that that is just a level. It doesn't really matter that much. But actually, 84K for me is night and day. It's the 200 daily moving average that we've been 4 days battling with it. I cannot claim victory yet because we need to close a daily candle above 84. If we can do that in this descending falling wedge, at the very least, we could get a rally into the resistance. And depending at what time, at what point we make contact with this top line, we could reach it when we are at 88, maybe at 89. And what I want to see is how is the reaction there after that, because that could mean that we are reclaiming the daily trading range. That should be something bullish, but I'm leaving cash in case we make contact with the previous high of 13th of March 2024, which is the 73.5.7, around that area. And that's why I left also this ugly drawing in here as a bearish case. If we come back in here and we can defend the falling wedge, maybe wiping all the liquidity, even up until 72, but on a daily close, defending the falling wedge, then we can also still have that rally into the top of the falling wedge later on. So today, I'm both excited by being above 84, but I'm looking at the order book data, and I'm thinking, well, there is some weakness in there. If we get to 88, I might take some profits from my long. If we see a rejection, maybe I re-enter from 77.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things there for everybody watching this. I think the key point that Mariano made is that 84 mark. If we hit the 84 close today, keep a very close eye on the market over the weekend. Some good moves out there. Michael Saylor tweeted this. Well, I shouldn't say Michael Saylor. This is a fan account, but I thought it was interesting. Will history repeat itself? And the fan account was basically saying, hey, we want to take a look at 2020, but we're really, I guess, at least we're not repeating ourselves on the 4-year cycle. So that would be the one thing that has not happened, is the 4-year cycle. Do you believe in the 4-year cycle anymore, or has that been kind of crapped out?
Yes.
It's broken.
I do believe, but it's on the path to breaking. I've seen some signs of already breaking.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Let's talk about the S&P 500. This is what's happened, everyone, since Trump took office. This is an absolute nightmare for anybody in equities. And I think if you guys are out there probably looking at your retirement accounts right now, listen, I feel for you. I know the position you're in. This is possibly the worst kind of start of a presidential campaign that we have ever seen. Well, outside of the one where Obama had that little bit of a dip, about the same time, but then it skyrocketed. He had some adjustments in, around 100 days in, and then right there was pretty much his high. But at 200 days in, I mean, the stock market was absolutely flying. So right now, maybe Trump will turn this around, and maybe he won't. I'd love to get you guys' comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Is this just a temporary pain, or is this something that is going to continue down the road? By the way, if you are not subscribed to Mariano's channel, it is called The Trading Parrot. I love that logo, by the way. And you guys, he does a great job at really breaking down things and making complex trading and technical analysis easy to understand. So just jump over there and subscribe to his show. Let's go over to XRP, Mariano. BlackRock announces now they're going to file for both a Solana and an XRP ETF. This came in from Nate Garassi. This is a pretty big deal because there's so many ETFs that have been filed for XRP. And Ripple continues to make moves in the market. We're hearing more and more buzz around. They're making more deals with countries. Ripple's on the move in terms of the actual token itself. And then if you look at the ETF approval, many people would say that's a low chance, 36%. But if you compare that to Solana, which we'll talk about here in a second, that's a 28%. So very interesting. This is, of course, by July 31st. So maybe things do happen after that, but right now that's where we are. Where do you like and where do you think XRP is going in the near term?
Number one, because XRP is just doing what BNB did a few days ago, not a few days ago, maybe a month ago, and that is losing the weekly support. It pinched the weekly support in here, it went to 53 on the RSI, and now it's coming to retest the breakdown. On XRP, I believe this could be different, is because there's so many bullish things that I'm seeing. There's so much hype in on the news. And you're much better than me, of course, on knowing all the fundamentals on XRP. My specialty is TA. And what I see here is that if by this weekend we can reclaim this support and turn it back into support, this RSI 57 on the weekly, that is probably going to mean in the price that the price goes beyond 2.4. That is my magic number for this week. 77 cents is the most bearish target. I don't think that in this era of XRP, with all the bullish things that are coming, we can really get there. I think for getting into the second most conservative target, which is 135,
Okay.
that particular target to the downside, for that we need Bitcoin to put a new lower low. We need Bitcoin to go to 73.5 to 74 to that area, and then XRP could see that rejection of 2.4 and go there. But if Bitcoin behaves now and we continue to the upside, XRP is going to follow up with 272.
I like it. 240 is the close price. Watch that, guys, as it gets a little bit closer, because we are going to see some movements. I always do these polls, and this was just done 2 hours ago. This army is undeniable. This is a quote, basically just saying, hey, what's your go-to asset for the long haul? In the long haul, saying a 2 to 5 year range. We got to going into some conversation there on the tweet. And XRP, again, this gets into, I know everybody says, well, Paul, there are the bots out there. There's no way Bitcoin can't be, the long haul. I get it. But the point is, sentiment matters in these markets, especially on X, for where this is going. Other things I want to get into is Solana. As we showed earlier, the July 31st, we have a 28% chance. But if you extend that out to December, and it flips dramatically to 89% chance on an ETF. So let's look at a year-in position. If we're buying Solana right now, what would my year-in position be? Because there's a lot of new people that are looking at coming into crypto right now.
I'm going to start with the bearish side, just to have like a cushion to think how low we can go if things get really, really ugly. And that comes from this M pattern at the top that we can see with a neckline at $179. This is kind of the high, and I'm going to place it around the neckline there, and it's pointing towards around the $60. That is the target of the breakdown that we already did. So far, we have done just halfway through. Not all technical targets meet the final destination. Sometimes it's just 50% of it. It just does something, market sentiment changes, and then you don't achieve the full target. That's why we have conservative and aggressive targets. $60 is just crazy. It's very aggressive target. But in order to dodge that bullet and not go to the $60, what Sol needs to do now is flip the $130 back into support. Let's see some actual targets. Let me see. So let's say this is the bottom. From this bottom in here, we come back to this bottom here, and we have an extension of 1, getting us back into $300. Then second target is the 1618 Fibonacci pocket. That's $410. Yeah. We need probably a proper altcoin season to do the other targets, and I don't want to just give hopium for the sake of it.
All right, so let's, okay, so that's good for Solana. Let's jump over to a couple of stocks. I want to talk about Robinhood. They've had a big announcement. They continue to do a lot of, gamification of the app itself. It's likely that we could be entering into an S&P 500 low phase, which means that we could see some new people enter in. And now, if you talk about Trump's proposal to reduce or eliminate income tax on people that make $150,000 or less, that could inject a lot of new people into the market. And they'll probably go through Robinhood. So with all of that happening right now, and you've got, here's Vlad talking about, their trivia. This is what I was talking about from the gaming side of things, and they gave away a bunch of Bitcoin. And they had 754 winners. This was like a little, round robin competition that you did for engagement within the app. So it was very, very well done. How do you like the stock? Would this be one, if you were trading it against other crypto-related stocks, which they're getting ready to do earnings. What do you think?
Well, I guess the question for Robinhood is, after we have lost the support on the weekly, is where is the next floor?
Yep.
So now that we lost that level, we are in the median, and the question is, are we going to lose the 47 momentum in here, or are we going to create a pivot and then have one of my favorite revenge rallies into that resistance? And I want to say something. Basically, if we defend this $38 and we have this revenge rally, we could go quite high. And that level of the target coming from RSI 76, which I'm now calculating,
Yeah.
it's 76, sorry, not 74. That is $93. So if we do the full comeback and test that as a resistance, that still give us a way higher price. But in order to get there, I will say first we need to defend the $38. Or if we start closing the weekly below this, we can start going to $23 and then start seeing more downside.
Also, I want to hit on a couple other things. I want to jump over to Tesla now, because Tesla is another one. This is a Tesla insider trading alert. This is James Murdoch. He is a board member who is now selling 13 million worth of his Tesla. Tesla's been taking a lot of heat, obviously, for Elon's position in the White House under Doge. So when you look at the stock, where do you like Tesla, and would you even enter into a trade on Tesla?
You'll be surprised, but I'm actually bullish on Tesla, and I've been bullish on a particular level since around beginning of February. We have this breakdown on the weekly after losing the support that spans from April 2024. And I was looking for where are we going to land in the momentum. And I was looking at RSI 37. I say, well, we might as well find support at the global support 37. And that level in the price is a range that starts from 240. That's precisely the 37. But I started saying from the support in here, from 300 to 240, that's my range of value. And that is not just because of weekly support, but this goes beyond that. If we go to the monthly, let me clean the lines from the weekly, you can see that on the monthly as well, we are right there at support 50 RSI monthly. So I think this is a great area to enter with some position and some exposure to Tesla, in my opinion.
All right. Well, you look at, I'm going to give you guys a call on Tesla, and this is just based on, following and tracking this company for quite some time. There's a couple of order blocks setting in here around 200, but the target I'm looking at is this 172 range right here. I'm kind of hovering over it. And the reason is, if you look back far enough, even across earnings, which they had 4 bad earnings in a row during this run, and the 170 was really kind of the maintenance level of this stock. If this reclaims the 170 to 172, which I think it's going to hit 170. So I'm very bearish on Tesla right now. I don't know if I would enter a short. Not financial advice, but I'm just saying I'm looking at this and all the pressure that Elon Musk is getting. A lot of people have said maybe he needs to get back to building rockets and cars. So maybe Elon will start to pay attention. But one thing is for sure, he's definitely hurting his bank account right now. He may drop $1 billion or $2 billion off of this one. So Wilder World had a little bit of news here. And this is a token that is a gaming token, Mariano, that has been, we've talked about this one quite a bit. I've traded on this one. I like it. It's one of the, the projects that I think has a potential. If you look at the Wild token as a whole, how would you trade this right now?
All right. So with Wilder World, we have lost the last line in the sand in here. We have a close last week below the, what level is this? 18 cents. And at the moment, we are priced at 16 cents. But we have had a huge reset. So I will say that we are in a strong area of accumulation in here. And this probably is going to play out in a very similar way as we had in here. It's a matter of patience to wait until the accumulation is done. I think that this is just getting started, and what I would like to see is that we regain the 32 cents, but definitely at this area, reclaiming the level of 18 cents, which is the previous support, will be a great sign for start thinking, okay, maybe let's start accumulating. But we are in an area of accumulation. And if we manage to get back into the top of the range, I can see that this has been doing zigzag between top and bottom. So I will expect to see another leg up in here, at least to the $1 eventually.
We're going to be doing a stablecoin video later today, so you guys make sure and check that out. Of course, again, Mariano, thanks so much for stopping in today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, you guys, if you're in the Diamond Circle, congratulations. You've just joined or are in one of the best communities out there. And of course, you can also talk with me directly in our Telegram group, and that is in a link down below as well. I jump in there and chat all the time with you guys. Love to get your insights, and it's always fun to chat with you guys out there, and that's where I do it. So follow me out there on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.